Hello everyone, this is Debbie from Ink and Page, and I'm here today with a new Junk Journal July video. Today is day 24, and we are on window. If you'd like to get the printables that I'm about to use in this project, please go down in the description, click the link, and I'll send you everything you need to get started. Then you'll get everything else going forward. Okay, so let's jump into this. All right, so I gave you guys a little hint yesterday. My plan is to use this image. I have printed 2 of them because I am going to fussy cut one of them out and stack it on the other. Now you may notice that they're not the same size because I went ahead and trimmed off about 1/4 of an inch on either side and about 1/2 inch off the bottom here. Okay, I wanted it to be a little smaller than the page. And then I'm going to fussy cut this one out and stack on top of this one. Okay, so here is the page I'm going to use in my journal. I'm going to collage over it with book pages. If I was not going to collage it with book pages, I would have just left the image the size that it printed, okay? What happened here, what I did here is cut off about about 1/4 of an inch on either side and then 1/2 inch on the bottom. You can see here, this is the first one I did. It's too close at the top if you cut 1/4 all the way around. So I just cut the 1/2 inch off the bottom and 1/4 and 1/4. I'm going to fussy cut this one and then stack it on top of this one. Okay, and then I am going, okay, and then, but before I do all of that, that's kind of my plan here. Before I do all of that, I hope that wasn't too scatterbrained, I'm sorry. I'm going to glue my book pages down to the back of this so they have a chance to dry, okay? And then I'll go back to working on this. Oh, and I printed a quote out here. So this is the one I'm going to use. It's Sir Isaac Newton. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. I want to put that in my window. But I also printed a second Walt Whitman one. A morning glory at my window satisfies me more than the metaphysics of books. So I thought, you know, 2 choices on here, 2 different fonts here, 2 different sizes here. So that is, and you can manipulate these by like shrinking or making these bigger, you know, with your printer if you wanted to. So I'm going to put those aside for a second and I'm going to get started on my book page here. I thought I was organized, but now I feel less organized. Okay, I'm going to use a glue stick for this so it dries quickly. You probably, like matte medium or something like that would probably be a good choice though, just as a kind of a heads up on that one, but I need it to dry quickly, so I don't want to mess around with anything super wet. All right, so I'm just going to cover my thing with glue, and I'm going to start sticking my book pages down. I have some, like, I ripped them into all different sizes, and I inked all of the edges so that I could just start, actually, which way should I go? This way? I know, it's kind of crazy. There we go. And then I'll just, did I say this already? I have 0 idea. I picked the front of the signature because I thought it would be easier. And then my plan here is to just lightly paint around the edges here And then I have a Stabilo Woody in this like really pretty like ballet pink. And I'm just going to go, I think, around the edges and just kind of highlight them slightly because I want to bring out the pink in that image. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure that that's going to work, but we'll see. If it doesn't show up, you know, it's not the end of the world. Okay. All right. So I have this one is going to be the one that I glue down on here. And then this is the one that I want to fussy cut out. And fussy cut is a very loose term for what I'm about to do here. This is not like a super, I think I need smaller scissors though. It's not like a super detailed image. I can only find like super giant scissors or super tiny scissors. Like this is like, it's a pretty easy thing to do to cut it out. However, if you don't want to cut it out, you could just cut it smaller yet again and layer it on top of the image. Like I'm going to use a little bit of, or a couple of foam squares. I was going to say foam tape, but I don't have any white foam tape, and I didn't think black would be the thing for this. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to cut this out, and, you know, you don't have to worry too much about it. It's pretty, like some of it's just camouflaged by the flowers. So I'm just going to guesstimate when I get to those spots here. I have the wrong scissors right now. I just want to get in level to where that is right there. Okay, so that, I'm just doing a rough outline of that, and then I'm going to do the middle as well. So I'm just going to poke a hole in the middle and then cut to the four corners. It is hard to see over here where the stuff is. Okay, I'm gonna fold these guys back because I don't want a rough edge in the middle there. Let's make sure I got that one all the way. Okay, I don't want a rough edge around my thing, and I prefer this method to get nice clean edges. And when you're folding it back, you can see where the line you should fold should be. Like you can see the edge of the window. And then you can just fold exactly where you want it to be folded. Right, I just wanted to check and make sure that's all good. All right, I'm going to snip these off. And then I'll glue the flaps down, and they will give my window extra stability as I'm about to glue it on. Oops, thanks. That glue is really soft. I think it's quite warm in my craft room. Okay, oops, right now. Okay, alright, so I have this piece here. And now I need my other piece. This thing is stuck in here. So what I'm going to do is just stick this right on top of here. Like this. Alright, I'm going to put the foam squares on the back. Now, if I had like 50 million like hours to work on this, I would for sure have done some die cuts and stuff for this, and then just like put like actual like stuff behind this. But I didn't have the amount of time that I would have liked to have had to work on this. So I just have to go with what I can, you know, what I can reasonably fit into like one day. While still making sure my kids are fed and they have clothes to wear. So, okay, so I'm going to put this all around. And now I'm going to just take those off. And then I will put this on there. I do have some like dried flowers and stuff that I could use if I want to. So I'll probably end up doing that. Even if it's not necessarily advisable in my journal. I just want it to look nice, you know. Overall, though, like, as far as projects go, this is probably one of my least complicated ones. I guess it's kind of like my door project, but my door project was a little bit different. So. Okay. I wonder if I should... Oh, no, I did that. Okay, alright. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to try to look to match these flowers up. And match the, like, window hole, like, up. So now there's, like, a little bit of a lift between them. Oh, I did forget to do the... I'm going to do the edges of this, too. I figure because I'm putting this at the beginning of the signature, I have a little extra room. Because I have a good amount of space between the signatures. So that should allow me to have like a little bit of extra bulk in there without overly affecting my journal, which is not too bad right now considering. Okay, so now let's do like a quick ink around the edge on that. I'm going to put this away. Get this guy's out of here. Alright, I'm going to ink around the edge on that to get rid of those white edges. Really have to, if you fray the edges like I just did, you really have to work that ink in there. Okay. Alright, so let's take a quick look at this. Okay. So here's going to be my most trickiest part. Okay, so I'm going to go around the edges like very like lightly with this white paint, and then I'll let this dry. I should probably have a paper under this, huh? Although sometimes when there's like leakage over from another spread, it's like character, if that makes sense. And sometimes it's one of those things that like inspires you to do like something totally different. I'm going to do a quick try on that. Okay. So now I have that all set. This is going to go on here. Oh, you know what? Let me cut up my little word thingies for inside this. I think it's going to be this one. Actually, let's cut the whole thing. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these guys out, and then I'm going to ink them. I just printed this on white paper, so I'm going to see how it looks. I'm going to ink it, and I might just lightly, like, ink over the whole thing, just so it's not, like, so white. There. All right, let me do these really. Okay, so I had a little bit of inking fun with my Distress Oxide inks, and I added a bunch of different colors that I thought were in here to this. I used old paper, tea dye, which is hands down one of my favorites, and spun sugar, which I didn't think was going to work, so I wasn't going to use it at first, but then when I looked at the ink pad, it's definitely way more in my color scheme than I thought it would be based on the cover, you know what I mean? So, anyway, there's that. And now I have to decide about putting them in here. Standing always seems to be off by itself. Oh my god, that's a perfect fit. And I was going to put Sir Isaac Newton down at the bottom anyway. So that's going to work out perfect. I'm going to have to trim that. Okay, so basically what I want to do here is I could have trimmed these further, I guess. I don't think I don't know. Should I trim them? I left a lot of margin around them. Okay, I have all my words. I think I'm gonna do... I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, 100%. I know I'm doing the words. I just don't know what kind of background I'm doing yet, because I don't want to glue each word individually down the thing. You know, I don't think, I mean, on like its own piece of fabric, in case that didn't make any sense. I could do that. Do you think, this is what I need a second opinion. Is it bad to obscure the background? I think I'm going to obscure it anyway. Okay. I might have an idea. Okay, so here's where I'm going with this. I don't know if it's obvious or not, but like the whole idea of standing on the shoulders of giants is kind of like standing on the words of, you know, those who have come before us. So that's kind of why I wanted to put the book pages on here, because I feel like that whole situation, like, you know, that kind of reflects the quote, you know, beyond the whole idea of, you know, looking through the window and seeing. It's just like kind of a layered meaning, I guess, and I'm doing lots of layering here, so I think like I'm hoping it all goes together. And I cut these up extra skinny so that I might have to get rid of those unless I can get them under. So word to the wise, do this part first and then glue your window on. I want to go back down this with like a second row of book text so that it's kind of obscured a little bit. I could paint it too a little bit if I wanted, I guess. I made these a little bit on the long side. Leave it to me to make something like this. Could have been like so quick. I'm probably still here an hour later. Okay. Oops, there's no glue down there. Okay. All right. Now I think I'm ready to glue down my actual quote. Let's do it. I have to be careful. I used distress oxide on this. So I'm wondering if I do it like this. Now this is, that's probably a bad idea. Really excited that I used a glue stick here because that could have been a mess. Okay. Okay. So I've got my quote on there. I need to get Sir Isaac Newton on here. I think we'll do that like kind of in the corner on the bottom. Okay, now, what else should we add to this, if anything? Alright, so I do have my little pieces of mummy cloth, which I could add behind my shutters. Fingers are still sticky from glue. Alright, I'm going to add a little, I think I'm going to try to add a little bit of pink here as well. If I had my druthers, I would have like probably done some leaves, you know, to put on here as well. Too much. Okay, let's try that again. I mean, this looks super cute if I had leaves. I'm gonna check really quick, but I don't think I do. Okay, that's cute. Okay, let's check and see what I have. I do have these guys. This is probably a less is more situation right here. I'm not sure if the leaves are too big. I'm going to cut it almost to the stem there, and I'm going to use some of this Fabri-Tac because it's gooey, and I think I can get the stem to kind of sit in it, you know. I'm gonna put glue under there to hold the thread, but I figured for right now I would kind of let it go until I'm sure about everything. Like, I'm not sure about this right here, so. All right, let's fix this, and then I'll put some glue under here. It's convenient because I have those like little foam pieces under there, so I can just shove these kind of under there. This is not the thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna have to go shopping for some leaves that are either dried, like the artificial ones just don't look that good, you know. All right, I'm gonna put some glue under here to keep that thread in line, and then I have a couple places where I want to add thread. Okay, so I think I got my thread situation sorted out. Okay, so here we go. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead with this situation. There's a couple of things I want to do first. All right. Okay, I think that's good. And then, all right, so I think what I'm going to do is add some of this Stabilo around the edges here, and I just will get like a baby wipe to kind of smooth it out a little bit, just because I want to have a little bit of pink in the background. Not a lot, just a little. So it's just not all one color, you know? This is going to go on top of that. I feel like this needs an intermediary layer. I know, I thought I was done, but I'm just gonna quickly add this fabric onto the back of this here, because it needs, like, it needs something, you know what I mean? I'm gonna try to gently turn this over here. Okay, I'm gonna cut this. We really do not need very much of it, just a tiny bit sticking out. It's just too sharp of a contrast from the background to the image. I'm just gonna pull these out and then just leave them. All right, so I'm just gonna glue this on the very edge of this, and I'm gonna do it all the way around. I'm worried this is, because this is not straight. Now I have to hurry because I already put the glue down. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. This is Sari Silk, in case anybody wanted to know what it was. It's extremely soft, so, and it frays like a dream. I don't want very much of it. I just want like the barest hint of it. It's crazy. I just bought like a bunch of this, like a, I don't know, it was like a roll of all different colors and stuff, and I'm burning through it. Like, I've never used so much of anything so quickly. This is a good neutral color though, so I think that's part of the reason. So like any scraps of this that I have left will come in handy for something else. I gotta get myself like a little mini cutter for fabric to keep on my desk so I can cut straight lines. Because even though I want to fray it, I want it to look like, it, you know, not like it was like totally crazy. Okay, I'm gonna go across with this. Pickle is doing some A+ snoring down there. Okay, let's get this down just slightly. Now to the bottom. It's always funny to see the back of a project. Okay, now let's give this another try. Okay, even better. Okay, I have a gold Stabilo too. So I'm just gonna go. I'll get the thing and use water to smudge it. And that will just, you know, bring in the color of the sari silk. All right, let's stick this guy on here. Oops, I should probably put a little bit more of this on here for the fabric. Okay, I'm gonna do glue combo here for this. Okay, so I'm gonna go over the inside here with the glue stick, just to get every little area. And then I'm going to go on the back of it with this glue. Oh, now that's sticky. I think I'm basically out of glue in there. Oh boy, how would that be if I glued this on upside down after all of that? Oh, friends. Oh my god, I think this is done. And I think that doesn't belong there. Holy macaroni. Okay. This is my spread for window. So, I used a combo to glue it on because I have a lot of different materials on here, so I thought, okay, I'll just like use the glue stick for insurance, and then I ended up with the art glitter glue because my glue press seems to be empty, which explains why no glue is coming out of it. So I need to refill that today, but anyway, I really appreciate you guys joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed this and got some inspiration, and you also made your little window spread as well. Let's see. Tomorrow we have vintage, so that should be fun. I mean, that's like wide open, so we could do whatever we want for that. So I will see you guys then, and thank you so much for joining me, and please don't forget to like the video and subscribe.